show tonight. So we got a really good show tonight. I got some documents thanks to my girl Kelly. She sent it over to me, and I didn't even know it was out yet. They just sent an email over to OSEP to find out what hell it was. So we're going to talk about that today, which will be really cool. Day, so I hope you guys come. You know, I don't have a life, so I just assumed you guys would want to be here. So, but if you don't show up, it's okay. I'll just do it again because I like this information. It's so much fun. So I hope everybody's having a great Valentine's Day. And their sweeties got them some sweetness. And if you guys didn't get some sweetness, like me, you never win, that's okay because you sweet anyway. It's like me. So, I gotta stop this crazy thing from doing this noise. Stop. No, I don't want to show you. Okay, so now, where's that music? Stop it. Hello, I'm so glad you guys came. You guys are real interested in my little news. It's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait. You guys are gonna die. You know what? This proves something. You guys are always telling me, OSEP don't do nothing. OSEP don't do that. OSEP, oh, can't do that. OSEP doesn't do this. Well, this will prove to you that OSEP does. OSEP does do shit, okay, to the Department of Education. They do it, okay? And it's just the beginning because there's more steps that if they don't pay attention and they don't come in with the timelines right and, you know, you're going to be in trouble again. And we'll keep escalating it and escalating it. That's the new word, guys. Escalating it and escalating it. And what it does is, at some point in time, enough is enough. And they will cut funding. You know, like Elon Musk and Donald Trump. I had to do it. I had to. Sorry. So anyway, hey, Alma, how you doing, girl? So tonight we're going to talk about, I don't know if you guys remember this, but on September 29th, 2023, after numerous parents and advocates and a bunch of people kept telling OSEP about Massachusetts and how they're not doing child find, they're not implementing the complaint process right. Yeah, implementing the when you file a complaint, they're not doing it right. Now you guys know me. So my last two clients that I had officially, there was a lot of emails going over to Laura Duos about Massachusetts and PRS, which is Problems Resolutions, whatever, PRS, they think they're fancy. It should be called the stupid department because everybody over there is dumb as hell. But anyway, so, and I have the emails to prove that I sent specific information over to them. I sent laws that advocates and parents don't even know about because it has to do with the state's responsibility in order to get the money. Because, see, I'm the kind of girl, I follow the money. So wherever the money is, that's where Tammy's going to be, digging in. And I'm going to get the state for not doing their job under that law, under that money. Well, after a year and almost a half, 2023 to 2025, they finally came out with their decision, and Massachusetts is in so much trouble. I can't wait to send the email that's going to say, I told you so. Do it again. Yep, that's what I'm telling them. I'm going to say, and I'm watching, because everything they're doing, they have to put online. Okay, so they're in big trouble and they don't know what to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, first I'm going to show you the September 29th, 2023 letter, just to refresh your memory. And then I'll show you what they did, what OSEP said. Oh, no, you can't do that. What's wrong with you people? So there's like 5 people watching right now. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to do this because you guys are going to be. I'm going to show you the topics that they found that they wanted stuff from. Okay. So let me do this and do that. Okay. So we're just not gonna, is that what we're doing? Do that one and do that one. Is this it? This is it. Okay. So we're going to do that one. What the hell? There we go. Okay. All right, I don't know what the hell that background's doing, but it's confusing the hell out of me. Okay, guys, wait just a minute. I gotta fix the background because it's a hot mess. Where is this? Okay, I want it to be that. There you go. Oh, baby. Now, feel free to jump in, okay, and just ask me any questions you want. But see, this is the September 29th, 2023 letter. It went to this guy, Russell D. Johnston. He was the deputy commissioner. He's now the commissioner, I believe. So anyway, and if I was him, I would just quit because he's stupid to stay there and take the heat for all of this. But, you know, they're greedy and they think titles mean something to somebody. Just for the record, none of these people and their little teeny titles mean anything to me. Nothing. And in order for me to talk to you like your title means something to me, you got to bring something to the table. You got to act like you have common sense. You got to act like you got some sense somewhere. Okay? So I don't care nothing about these little twits. Just for the record. So anyway, so this is what I highlighted the good part. So OSEP received a number of concerns from stakeholders, including advocacy groups, local LEAs, which I doubt, personnel, local special education, parent advisory councils, and individual parents of children with disabilities in Massachusetts. A lot of them came from because I was telling the parents what to write. And they sent them. And this is what happens when you guys do what I tell you to do. Okay? So then, now, unbeknownst to us at the time, I wasn't 100% sure. When a state goes on a monthly meeting with OSEP, they're in friggin' trouble. They're in trouble. You don't have monthly meetings with OSEP to talk about what you have to do right unless you're in trouble. Okay, in some kind of way. And this is like a level of part of enforcement, okay? To provide them with technical assistance because they're stupid. Okay, good. So I didn't know it at the time. But all of the stuff that we did, this made OSEP while OSEP was having a monthly technical assistance thing, they're getting all of these notices from these wombats. I mean, from us. The wombats are getting all of this stuff from us. Okay? Because they're nice. Hi, Elise. Alma, did I say hi? Hi, girl. Stop sending me money, Alma. Alma is like my biggest champion. I swear to God, I love you to death. You are single-handedly gonna get me where I need to be. But thank you very much. And if you guys don't know, my name is Tammy Joya. And I didn't put my name out there either. So my name is Tammy Joy. I'm an advocate. Been an advocate for 30 some odd years. I have a master's in psychology with a specialization in applied behavior analysis. So yeah, that's all set. Okay. I love doing this. I'll never stop. There's something wrong with you, honey. I love you though. I really do. So let me do this because, you know, I'm just crazy. I love what I do. It's the best thing since sliced bread to me. I swear I'd rather advocate than eat sometimes. It pisses me off, but I like it at the same time. So anyway, that being said, let's go back over here. So everybody knows who I am. I was so excited I forgot to do my intro. So sorry. So anyway, so OSEP said, screw this. And they decided they were going to just start doing an investigation. And so let me tell you this first. Okay. So, you know how you guys, you file for a complaint, right? And then there's certain things you have to include and say and do and blah, 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 blah. And then the doofuses, they do an investigation. And then when they get done, they send you the stuff and they send you their findings on what you said. And this is why I tell you guys all the time, you're not wrong. This proves my point. We're not wrong, not ever, in no stretch of the imagination. We're not wrong. This will prove it. I'm showing you. Okay? So This is what OSEP did to Massachusetts Department of Education. Okay, it's as if a group of us filed like a class action. We didn't file a class action, but it's like we did. And they said, oh shit, what the hell's going on in Massachusetts? I mean, everybody is complaining about this place. We have to go take a look. Okay, so they go and they take a look. So these are all, okay, I forgot to tell you. So where am I? Okay, I gotta do this. Okay, so what they did is they looked at all of the IDEA regulations, like child find evaluations, IEEs, private. I'm going to show you all the stuff. And then we're going to go over to the other one, because the other one's the most fun. I was just tickled. So what they're saying is, as we have discussed during our monthly meetings, this is OSEP saying this to Massachusetts, these stakeholders, us, raised the questions as to whether the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, because they got to be fancy, they can't just say DOE, has a system reasonably designed to monitor its LEAs to ensure compliance with Part B of the IDEA. Does this ring a bell to anybody? This is what they have to do. They have to say it to the OSEP. They have to do it. You understand? They have to. They don't do it, no money. It's just 1 + 1 = 2. 1, you do this, and then 2, we give you the money. 0 from 0, you get nothing. You don't do your job, you don't get no money. Easy peasy. But we're going to give you some chances to fix it. That's what OSEP is about to say. Okay, so they're saying, hey, Massachusetts, you said you were going to do this, and you have this in place and that in place. And then, but however, that's not what these stakeholders and peoples are saying. That's not what they're saying. It's saying that you guys aren't meeting the dispute resolution systems and monitoring process under this law right here. Okay, the state guidance, where is it? State guidance and LEA implementation of the requirements regarding child find and evaluation, and then they cite the law 300.306, and oversight of the state-approved special education schools referred to as Chapter 766 approved private schools. See, Massachusetts has a lot of special ed schools. I mean, I don't advise anybody to move to Massachusetts because the cuckoo, I just heard noises. I don't know what it is. They're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Stay right there, guys. Well, I'm live. If anything happens to me, you guys will see it. I've been hearing noises all day today. I don't know what's in my house. Whatever it is, it's big. So watch me, guys. You watch my back, okay? So anyway, who has a copy? Girl, I got a copy. It's online. I'm going to show you guys all of this, okay? All of it. Why can't... Oh. Who has a copy of the complaint? This is the copy of the complaint. This is what the Fed said we're going to go do in this. This is basically a complaint. I'm going to show you. Hope OSEP goes full force on these reds. They're not going to do that red state, blue state stuff. If you're violating the laws, you're screwed. Okay? You've even just keep me saying I would be crazy by now with, kisses. No worries. But watch this. Okay, so I think that's my guinea pigs over there making all kind of noises like they're nuts. I mean, they're big. They're like cats. I think I feed them too much. Anyway, so, okay, I told OSEP on several of my clients that they're babysitting these kids. One of my kids went there for 4 years. He came out worse than when he went in. Okay, for 4 years they were there. It cost the school district $250,000 a year. This kid couldn't do anything. He couldn't do anything, and it got worse when he went in. So I told them, I said, I don't understand what's going on. There's no oversight. They're not treating him. I mean, he was in a school. He had autism. He was in a school that the entire school, it's called Evergreen. The entire school is BCBAs. From the president, the entire administration, and most of the people that work there as teachers and shit. They're all BCBAs. Nobody could help develop a proper behavior plan. It cost the school district $1 million. Do you know what? Those stupid idiots were good with that, but the people in that town don't know. They don't know that they paid $1 million for this kid not to be able to even tie his own shoes. He can't wash himself. Nothing. He can't do nothing. Because they didn't do, for 4 years, they did nothing. And it's a behavior school. Anyway, so that's what they're talking about. Because I kept sending emails to them asking OSEP, you know, I don't understand. What is the purpose of this? It's like babysitting. I don't understand. So, okay, so that's one. So here we go right here. Here's the first part. So pretend, this is how you have to look at this. Pretend you filed this complaint against the state. Now, I want you to keep that mindset because I'm going to show you how to use both of these documents to file a complaint against the school district and then to turn around and file one against the state for not doing your job. Oh, my God. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding at all. 4 years, $1 million. This is why I hate them. I have no respect for them whatsoever. Not zero, zilch, nada. Anyway. So here's the part. Here's one of the parts that they were telling the state, we're going to come investigate this. That's basically what they're saying. So it says, the specific issues raised are summarized below. So they talk about the state complaint process in Massachusetts. So what OSEP usually does is, OSEP, they're like lawyers. Well, some of them are lawyers. But what they do is they set up what the law says the states have to do. Okay? So they talk, when you're talking about state complaints, they talk about all the laws, and this is them talking about the laws. This is why I tell you, when you're filing a complaint against the state, not the school district, you bring up these laws right here. See that right there? 300.152. That's what you bring up. Because this is the stuff they're supposed to do. So this right here, you can say, you didn't do none of this. I can show you how to use this, okay? So the part that's good is, so after you get done talking about that, it says, and it is the department's longstanding position that states' complaints may include I hate that word, substantive violations, including challenging a public agency's ability to determine eligibility determination and any allegations regarding the denial of faith. Because you know why they put that in there? Because Massachusetts and other states, they've literally thrown out cases because parents have said that they file for denial of faith for violations of denial of faith, and the damn state comes back and says that's not in our purview. Are you crazy? So here it is right here. This is true even if the SEA believes that the parent should file a due process complaint against the LEA, or that the due process hearing is a more appropriate, because they're always trying to get you guys to do a hearing. Because then they get paid for doing nothing. Oh, I wonder where I heard that before. So what is your job? So your job is supposed to be easy peasy. Let me tell you what. The department, the Congress developed these idea and the way you do investigations versus due process to stop people. Use the complaint system to get it done right, okay? You use the complaint system so that you not get it done right, so that you don't have to go to hearing. Because everything you need to do in a complaint, you need to do in a hearing. But you don't have to do testimony. You don't have to do, you have to do exhibits. You don't have to do testimony. You don't have to do motions and all that crazy stuff, okay? Sounds like South Carolina. Wait a minute, Alma, you're in South Carolina? I thought it was North Carolina. They got one too. I got you, girl. Remind me. I'll show you. I'm going to show you guys the link to go find out if your state, because New York has one of these. that I'm going to show you later on one of these reports, the findings. New York has one, Alaska has one, South Carolina has one, I think Montana, Idaho, one of them states in the Midwest. Yes, girl, I got you. There's going to be a report just like this. So anyway, so basically this letter goes into what the law says they're supposed to do, okay? So then it says right here, based on the concerns from the stakeholders and OSEP's review of state-submitted dispute resolution data. So before they even did the investigation, they told the state, we need some of this stuff. What the hell's going on? So they sent them some stuff. So they say, examples of state complaint decisions. That's what they wanted to. Because my stuff was bad. I mean, it was bad, okay, for them. OSEP is concerned about the decrease in the number of timely state complaint decisions and the increase in the number of pending state complaints. In addition, do you know how I promote state complaints? File a complaint, file a complaint. Yeah. In addition, given the significant decrease in the number of state complaint decisions with findings, and based on a review of state complaint decisions with child-specific allegations, OSEP believes additional information is needed to review how child-specific allegations are investigated beyond an LEA report and how child-specific remedies are determined and implemented. Therefore, this is what OSEP said. Okay, watch this. OSEP is requesting that DESE, Department of Education, submit the following information within 60 days. So within 60 days of the letter of this writing of September 29, 2023, this is what the state had to send over. Policies and procedures addressing the investigation, the protocols, a whole bunch. Tracking logs for state complaints, random, sample 20, dismissed or withdrawn state complaints. That never happens with me, very rarely. From the last 3 years, this is why it took so long, okay? So then that was for the state complaint piece. So then they did child fine. Okay, so what a lot of states do, this is bad because I've been telling OSEP this for years. I don't know, have you ever heard of this thing being Michigan? Wait a minute. I got Alaska. There's a report. There's a report on Alaska, American Samoa, Arkansas, the Bureau of Indian Education, Colorado, Idaho, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Montana, Nevada, New Jersey, New York, South Carolina, and Virginia. I love it when a plan goes together. I love it. But see, those are other states and people that are doing the same thing I did. You guys always say, oh, OSEP's not going to do nothing. Let me tell you something. You become a haunt. And you know what you're talking about when I'm going to teach you guys how to ask a question from OSEP. There's a certain way, clowns. There's a certain way you have to ask a question so that OSEP can answer what you want them to answer, okay? Because OSEP will play with you too. Oh, no, we don't do that. Go look over here. They'll send you places, okay? But anyway, I can show you. So one of the things that OSEP looked into was this RTI. Now they like to call it MTSS because RTI is shit. There's no monitoring. What they found out in the end was there's no monitoring. And if they're not doing it in Massachusetts, and that's what I want you guys to understand, whatever they found in Massachusetts, 99% of the time, this is what they're doing straight across the board. All of those complaints are pretty much, depending on what they looked at, if they looked at any of this, they're screwed. Okay? So one of the things was long delays in obtaining eligibility, because what the schools are doing is they're putting these kids on a tier program. I don't care what you call it. You can call it Tammy Joya, TLJ, specialties. I don't care what you call it. They're putting them on these tier programs. Now, when a kid goes on a tier program, he's on the first tier for 1 year. Okay, he's on a tier for 1 year. And then if he doesn't make it off that tier based on that stupid program they're using, that's not even credible. The reason why they don't monitor is because there's nothing to monitor. Because some super teacher gave you a reading things that do this. Have you seen any of those dumb things? So anyway, they want to find out what all of this is. While these assurances include, so they're telling the state, there's specifically stakeholders report long delays in obtaining eligibility for students under ID, including students with specific learning disabilities. Okay. They also report the delay in completing evaluations due to the implementation of the intervention of RTI, which OSEP has stated repeatedly, don't do that. It's a violation. They don't care. They do it anyway. Okay. So that's one right there. Referrals for evaluations came up in the investigation. These are all the things they asked them for 60 days. Child find information, RTI, multi-tiered systems of support, information, their procedures, how they monitor the protocols, all of this. They want them to be specific, okay? So then they do this private schools. So they got a whole thing about the private schools because I told them they ain't monitoring shit. And a whole bunch of people said the same thing. So then they came up and they said, in 60 days, here's what you got to do with that. Okay, thank you very much, yada, yada, yada. Now here are the findings. Okay, this is what yours is going to look like. It's going to be a piece of paper like this, okay? It's going to say differentiated monitoring systems or something like that, okay? So this one says, this letter, it contains the letter, and then it's about, the content is about, this is what you're going to find what your shit is about, okay? It's about, in our report from Massachusetts, about dispute resolutions, which is filing a complaint, either a complaint or due process. And this one, it's a regular complaint. Child find and evaluation, and children with disabilities and publicly funded private special needs schools. Like I said, we got a lot. I mean, a lot. Okay, so here's the letter. Yada, yada, yada. OSEP selects states for monitoring 2 ways, identifies with the emergency. I tell you all of that stuff. Then they broke it out again down here, and they tell you what it is. And so dispute resolution. Finding summary. OSEP finds that the state does not. This is for the complaint. When you file a complaint in Massachusetts. OSEP finds that the state does not have written state complaint procedures that ensure complaints are resolved consistent with Part B, consistent with IDEA Part B regulations. 300, 151 through 153. Do you know how many times I went after them for that? Do you have any idea? Do I have to attach a parent's name to the complaint? What do you mean, honey? If you got to fill it out, hon. They're going to say, I don't know what you're talking about. Yes. You got to have a name and an address and a kid, the name of the school, the district, all of that got to go in there. Okay. All of that got to go in there. Okay. So they find they don't have, so their procedures suck. So they're in violation of all of those laws. 300, 151 through 153. There's only 3 for the state complaint procedures. There's only 3 laws. That's it. They violated all of them. So, OSEP finds that the state does not have a model form to assist parents and other parties in filling a state complaint consistent with 300.509 and the content requirements in 34 CFR 300.153B. No shit, Sherlock. You know, their forms suck so bad. I got them in trouble. And one time, I was living here in PA and I was filing a complaint. And everybody I know, you could do, all the other states, you could do your complaints online. But you know, the only time you find out about that shit is if you live in another state. And you find out your state did it different. So I'm like, hey, is there a special reason why you people haven't come into the 20th century, 21st century? I said, why do we have to fill all this crap out online? This is what you had to do back in 2013. I kid you not. You had to call them up. You call up the department, okay? Resolution. You call a PRS and you tell them you want to file a complaint, and they say, what's your name? So they get your name, who's filing the complaint. They take all the particulars and then they send you a form. And now, so it got to the point where I said denial of FAPE. It's because when I got it, I filled it out. I said, wait, you want me to tell you everything on the phone? I mean, it's going to change by the time I get it. There's a lot of ins and outs here. I got a lot of evidence, all kinds of stuff, dates. She said, oh, I'll just send it to you, and then you can do when you get the form, you do it, yada, yada, yada. Okay, good. So then I started finding out you could do it online in other states. So I asked the Massachusetts, what the hell? And I CC'd it to OSEP. OSEP came back. I mean, they came back and said, oh, the next time I filed a complaint, I'm looking on the complaint form and it says you can do it online. I was like, ooh, I wonder why they thought of that. Because they're stupid. Wait. Then they sent it to Molly Spearin in South Carolina. Yes, it would go to your commissioner. You know, whoever is the commissioner of, wait, what's his name? The commissioner? I gotta go look at the other one first. Yeah, they sent it to the commissioner, not to the SPED director. Okay, so because even though the SPED director, the state SPED director is in charge, but the commissioner handles everything in the state. So they address it to the commissioner. So that's what they did. So there's number 2. Just under complaint dispute resolution, there's 6 different things they did wrong. Now this goes into detail. Okay, this is just a summary. It goes into detail. So it gives you laws, it gives you an example. It tells you what they did wrong and what the feds came back and said, not so much. You're not doing none of that, cray-cray. Okay? So, and then the next one says, OSEP finds that the state's procedural safeguard notice does not provide a full explanation of the procedural safeguards available under 300.151 through 153 again for a written state complaint. This is, and then they included 300.504. Yep. 300 point, let me just look at this real quick. I got to go in because it's driving me nuts. Okay, so they mentioned 300.504, 300, 34 CFR. My girlfriend uses this one all the time. What is this one? Oh, okay. That's the procedural safeguards. It has everything in that one. Okay. So that's what it is. No, kisses. Everybody, kisses. So I'm just giving you the rough idea of what they're doing, and then we'll go into it. And I'll show you exactly what they said and how you can cut and paste what they accused them of and what they said. This is what you didn't do, and this is what you're gonna do, and how you can take that information and put it in a complaint in any state. And whoever has one of these, you can, if there's an issue that you're filing against, and it's in this DMS report, you can cut and paste, because here's the thing. If they don't fix this, they're in trouble. And every time, because I'm going to be on their ass, I'm going to make sure the first person that says they didn't do this, I'm going to pull this out and say, copy and paste this and send it and file a complaint and say, you're not doing this. They'll be in trouble. And then you CC it to OSEP, like I did. You CC everything to OSEP. But you got to be specific. There's a certain way you guys got to do stuff. You guys don't do it right, they're not going to listen. And it took me a minute to figure out how to send them stuff. So just listen. So then they said OSEP finds that the state does not ensure state complaints are resolved within the 60-day timeline. The one that I kept sending to OSEP for them to do this, I can't even tell you how many times it took them a year. They kept, and every time they did something, they gave it another number. They thought that was okay to give it another number. And then they would change the timeline. And I told them, you can't do that. You're changing the timeline. So I sent their stupidness over to OSEP, and I CC'd their dumbasses in it. So they knew what I was doing. I can't wait to send it out tomorrow. I have an SEA complaint active on compensatory services. Just wait a minute. We'll get there. We're going to go look at yours and see. So the next one says, number 5 says, here I am right here. OSEP finds that the state does not have written procedures to ensure consistent implementation of the process to extend the law is clear. There's only certain circumstances that the state, and it can't be they don't have staff. It can't be that it's school vacation, which they use, and I cussed them out and they finished my complaint. And that was years ago. And it can't be because, what was it? There's another one. It can't be that the school's out. It can't be they don't have enough people. It can't be other days off and all of that stuff. It can't be none of that. The rules that guide them to finish the complaint are the same rules they have for hearings. Now, hearing officers think that because a school district is on vacation for the summer that there's no hearings. And I used to tell them all the time, wait a minute, we're postponing my hearing because they can't come because why? Are you guys on vacation? I told the hearing officer. So is the BSEA on vacation? Because I'm confused. The BSEA for us is our due process hearing. So I said, I'm confused. So you're telling me they shut down, because I'm contacting OSEP. As soon as I get done with this stupid conversation, I'm contacting OSEP and I'm telling them what you're doing. So as the hearing officer, you're telling me that we have to postpone because the school district's on vacation, school vacation, holiday, something. We have to postpone. Have you lost your mind? Well, I'm not doing it. Go ahead. Postpone it. Make sure you put it in writing. The hearing officer, I'm saying this to. Make sure you put it in writing that the reason, because when she goes to file the postponement, there's going to be another piece of paper that says, I didn't agree, and the only reason why we're doing this is because the morons are on vacation. Don't start, and it won't be none. You don't have to worry about going on messing up your vacation. Now what? You messed up my kids' education all of this time, and you think I give a shit about your raggedy ass? Stupid, I'm swearing now. I care about your kids, your friggin' vacation? Not so much. Not over here. Stupid idiots, I hate people. And then the last one on the dispute, they found, OSEP finds that the state does not have procedures for effective implementation. This was 2 of my cases. Of the SEA's final decision to include technical assistance, negotiations, and corrective actions to achieve compliance. They literally lied to those morons and said that all of the hours for this kid were completed. He didn't have a speech and language pathologist. He didn't have OT. He only had 1 hour a week. They owed him double services. Double. They said, no, you can't have it. Child find evaluation. So this is all about the evaluations, okay? So now let's go into the nitty gritty. Okay. So remember I said right here is where I read the first thing, okay? So they violated this right here. That's the violation, okay? So they said, so this is what the state said in the middle, okay? The state resolves written state complaints through, problem was with PRS, an online application. This is funny. The state complaint education law, specific time, okay. I'm just trying to find the funny part. Watch, you're gonna die. So this is the state telling OSEP, this is how we do it. This is how we resolve the complaints. So then OSEP says, OSEP's analysis is based on the documents and information provided by the state and interviews with state staff and other parties, other interests. Based on this analysis, OSEP finds that the state does not have written state complaint procedures that ensure complaints are resolved. Wait, it goes down. Where is it? Okay. So over here it says, this is the evidence, way over here, okay? Implementation. As soon as possible, but no later than 1 year from the date of the monitoring. I wanted to see, there was another thing that they said. Okay, that's not the one, but that one's good too. I like that one. Wait, there's another one. So they're telling them you don't have written procedures. The state does not have written procedures resolving complaints, including a complaint filed by an organization or individual from another state that meets the requirements. Okay? During the discussion with OSEP, the state explained that it relies on the LEA generation of a local report and narratives within the reports for issuance of the SEA's final decisions. This is what they're telling. The state confirmed during the discussion. The state also informed OSEP that when a complaint received, yeah, they're saying that they're full of shit, is what it amounts to. They're full of shit. Where is it? What is this? Okay, wait. So, what's this one? Legal requirements. What's this one? Procedural safeguard notice. Okay, 504 is a whole notice with all of your rights in it. Okay? So, OSEP said, in addition to its review, this is bad. So bad. The state's current procedural safeguard notice only provides an explanation of the PRS system with a link. I've been telling them they can't do this. To the PRS filing website and does not provide a full explanation of the written state complaint procedural safeguards available under Part B. In addition, in its review of MGL Chapter 71B, that's the Massachusetts General Laws, Section 3, State Law, and 603 CMR 28, that's the State Special Education Regulations, OSEP determined that they do not contain provisions for filing state complaints under Part B. The state's law and regulations only provide a description of the PRS intake forms, which are not specific to filing a complaint. This is what Massachusetts does. I hate them. I really hate them. They tell them they got 90 days to fix this mess. 90 days from January 16, 2025. Okay? So this has been out since January 16. So it says policies and procedures. The state's, wait a minute, over here. The state's procedural safeguard notice does not provide a full explanation of procedural safeguards 151. Yeah, none. That's why you guys don't know how to file shit. It's not your fault. How many times I tell you guys it's not your fault? They gave them 90 days of the date of this monitoring report. The state must submit to OSEP, revise the state's parents' notice of procedural safeguard to include a full explanation of that's going to kill them. Because parents are really going to know how to fill it out now. And it's going to be very detailed now. Okay? If the state is unable to complete the above required action within 90 days from the date of this letter, the state will need to submit with its FFY 2025 IDEA Part B grant application due in May, a copy of the revised policies and procedures or a specific written assurance. Because when they get the grant, they have to sign off on insurances. And then you get a copy of those written assurances. And all of this stuff is going to be on the written assurances this year. Because OSEP can cut back their money. Until you do this, you ain't getting all this money. And it's a lot of money. What's this one? That's 2. Okay. The state must contact OSEP as soon as possible, but no final approved copies of the state laws. So they're going to change the law. That's the second time. This happened in New York with my girl Leanne. She found out that the laws were not in compliance with the idea, and the state had to change their laws. And I believe it had to do with, I got to ask her, but I believe it had to do with independent evaluations. If I'm not sure, I think it had to do with that. But they had to change their laws. And so now Massachusetts has to change it. And the other state documents listed above that explain the state's complaint procedures and are revised to address this issue. Here's another one. Timely complaints. Hey, Ben, if you're listening. So a friend of mine filed a complaint against the state because they decided that they were going to make a unilateral decision to extend the investigation. And so he gave it to me. And he said, what's this? I said, this is all wrong. So we filed it again. And they got in trouble because when I filed it, I sent it to OSEP. So this is one of the things that came out of it, was that it wasn't just one case. OSEP, Massachusetts, this is a common occurrence at PRS. This is a common occurrence. They randomly and unilaterally just take their sweet time doing these investigations. And see, I'm nasty because I can't go, hey, why is it taking so long? When is this going to be in my hands? And every time I did that, I sent it to OSEP. The only time those people over there even answer me half the time is when I got a CC to OSEP. #bed. So then I say, so it says, timely resolution of state complaints. They only got 60 days. It's not 69, not 40 months, not 1 year. Not let's make another complaint out of this complaint so we can back ourselves up. Yeah, no, none of that. So it says. Each state complaint must include in its minimum state complaint procedures a time limit of 60 days after the date that the complaint is filed to resolve the complaint. Publicly available information. Okay, it says the state does not ensure timely resolution of state complaints. Does not. It doesn't say sometimes. It doesn't say, 50% of the time. No, it says the state does not ensure that they're done in a timely fashion. They did this in New York. What was it? In New York. They had, people were, in New York, it's a 2-tier state. So in New York, if you file for a hearing, you go to hearing, and then you get a decision, you can appeal it to the 2nd tier. These people, they had over 400 2nd tier appeals, and then had the audacity to tell OSEP, well, we'll just scrap all of that and we'll just start fresh. OSEP said, oh, no, y'all not. Do you know, it was 4 years old. Half of those kids were gone. Oh, yeah, it's a big mess. It was a big mess. They got it done, though. Says publicly available information and document provided to OSEP by the state. So I tell you guys, OSEP does do stuff. That the OSEP by the state demonstrate that the state does not meet its responsibility to ensure that the complaint receives through PRS and considered as IDEA state complaints are resolved in a timely manner. Tracking logs provided to OSEP by the state for review prior to the monitoring visit document complaints filed in 2022 as still pending with no resolution. You see why I hate them? Okay, no resolution. The state demonstrated that for 21-22 reporting year, 649 complaints were filed. Of these, 374 complaints led to a written report being issued. Of the 374 issued written reports, 130 were within the 60-day, only 130 were within the 60-day time limit, and 54 within extended time limits. Oh, I gotta tell you this. Massachusetts got in trouble before this. They had to fix their they had to fix their procedures. A new book was just printed. They just did it last year. And they had to, they hired all kind of people because of me. They hired all kind of people. They got like 6 people hired, 3 new specialists, I think it was, a deputy investigator person, supervisor. I got the letter. I'll show you that too. Massachusetts is always in trouble, and it's always PRS because they're stupid. So, the state's current practice for resolution of complaints allow the LEA to conduct a self-investigation into a complaint filed against it and report its findings to the state. Upon completion of the local report, the complainant is provided with a copy and is given an opportunity to submit a rebuttal. They knew better to do that stupid shit to me. I just drove over there and stuck it right down their throat. OSEP's review of state complaints, IDEA Section 618 data, and interviews of the state demonstrate that this process often results in extensions or missed timelines attributed to allowing for multiple rebuttals. Yeah. They're dragging it out. They're slow walking everything. So the districts don't get in trouble. Because if the districts don't get in trouble, then neither does the state. Hello. You better rethink that stupidness. That's why I don't like Massachusetts. I think they're all stupid. Everybody that works at the Department of Education is a moron. Everybody over there. Do not trust them. Don't. Matter of fact, don't trust none of these morons that work in any state departments of education. They're all stupid. You see them pepped up, right? While the idea, state demonstrates that this process of multiple reports in a timely manner. While the idea does not provide for the complainant to submit additional information and the public agency to respond, I'm reading it, I'm like, that's not true. While the idea does provide for the complainant, like a lot of parents don't know that when you file a complaint, if you want to add some stuff, you can. Even after you filed it, they have everything. If you find some more stuff, do it. What I used to do is those idiots, the school in Massachusetts, whatever the school district sends to, whatever I have to send to the state, the school, I have to also send it to the school district. Some states aren't like that. But what Massachusetts does is sometimes, so they have that. I've nailed them on this so many times. They said, so wait a minute. So I have to send it to them, but they don't have to send it to me? Have you lost your mind? I'm not playing that game with you. I want to know what they said. I'll subpoena those damn records. I'm telling you right now. I'll get it under the thing of public records. Don't start no, I'll call OSEP. So they never did that to me. They did it a couple of times, but they had to go tell the school, send her a copy. Send her a copy. I'll file a complaint on that. So then it says, okay, so you can send more information, okay? I'm going to look for that letter before that muskrat erase it. I will, honey. I'm going to post it here. I'm going to post it on Facebook. I'm going to put it on YouTube. If I have to make it, I'm telling you, you guys are getting this, okay? You're going to get this report. I'll make a PDF out of it. I'll give you a link for the PDF file. I'll give you the link to, because you want to see this. You guys want to keep this DMS place. You want to make sure that you guys always have this, because those DMS reports are always coming out straight across the board on all states. They just pick a state. And I'm telling you, I've told people this before. If you keep contacting the feds and you keep telling them what's going on, I'm trying to be sexy, and you keep telling them what's going on, and you become a haunt, they keep getting all this information about the school districts, about the state, what they said, how they said it. They're piling this up. They're not throwing it away. And I'm a wench, because what I used to do is create an email thread. And every time I had something to say, it was on that same subject. So after a while, they were like, oh, Tammy, I don't know what to tell you. I want you to take care of this now. And look what they did. So this is the first step. Okay, so then it says that the SEA must ensure that within 60 days of the date that the complaint was filed, subject to allowable extensions, a written decision to the complainant is issued that addresses each allegations in the complaint. They don't like to do this, because you know how many times I tell people, no, you got to cite each. I got after them because they were skipping shit that I said. So I said, good, skip it. What I'll do is I'll get the findings, and then I'll file against you for skipping it, and then I'll refile the complaint with the shit you skipped. How you like that, assholes? Now I got another question for OSEP. So if the state is in violation, and you guys just did this, now what happens to all the times they did this? So they just get off scot-free? I mean, I would say withholding all of their funds is a good thing. But, I mean, when is that going to happen? By the time that happens, my kids are going to be graduating from high school. So, yeah, I'm not a happy camper. Okay? So then, let me see, written decision. And then that's another good thing about this report. You see this down here? Okay, OSEP memo 1308 question B13. If I'm not mistaken, that's my favorite thing. I always cited that shit. That's the same one. It's question and answers. That's the one. I use that all the time because they're stupid. So then on this side over here, it says how they have to handle this. So within 90 days, the state practices for tracking or otherwise that demonstrate accurately reflect the SEA's obligation. SEA's what? I don't know where I am now. Oh. SEA's obligation. They must have set state practices for tracking, otherwise SEA's obligation to ensure state complaints are resolved within 60-day timeline. This is all of this. This is what they have to do on this side. On this last one right here. This section right here on the end. Wait, I'm doing it wrong. I want to write. Okay. This. Why? Okay, this section right here. Way over on the right. That's what they have to do. And that's the timeline they have to do it in. This is exactly what the state has to do when they're doing an investigation for us. This is how it has to look. They have a certain timeline. They have to answer all the questions. They have to do all of this shit. Okay? This is why I was so excited. Look how long it is. It goes 3 pages. I hate them. I really do. Okay, and here it is. Extension. of the 60-day time limit for state complaint resolution. The state does not have written procedures to ensure consistent implementation of the process to extend the 60-day timeline. Wait till you see what they did. They literally said this to OSEP. The people that are giving them all of this millions and millions of dollars, this is what they said to them. Unless it's due to exceptional circumstances consistent with this law. Okay. During interviews with OSEP and confirmed by a review of state complaints, the state cited complexities of complaints. The state cited complexities of complaints such as those involving multiple children, allowing for additional information to be submitted by parties, and LEA's completed local reports as acceptable reasons for granting an extension. No. None of that can do. No. See, you can file a complaint against the entire school district or a group of kids. And you can file. It's not our fault, your school district. That's because you're not the reason why this is complex and takes a long time is what they're saying. Is because you're not monitoring these wombats. You're letting them run all over these kids' rights, and you're acting like you're doing something. You ain't doing shit. This is what I told them. They're not doing anything, and this proves it. That's their reason why they had to extend it. The law says the exact opposite. It has to be extenuating circumstances like Mother Nature, a tornado ripped the school out of the earth, a blizzard. That's extenuating circumstances, not that shit. That's normal shit. It's a complaint. So, the state shared that decisions for extensions are made by the complaint investigator. Do you know how many of them I cussed out in Massachusetts? And I mean, it was bad. It was bad. Because Heather Montaldo, I can't stand her. Or Betancourt. The other one is Betancourt. Oh, Nixon. I can't stand him either. Oh, I got a whole bunch. They're all bad. All of them. The state confirmed there is not currently a procedure in place that ensures consistent decision-making when considering whether a reason for an extension meets the exceptional circumstances. I have an email to Betancourt, and I told her she couldn't do it, and I sent it to OSEP. Guess what she didn't do? She didn't answer me. I got my answer. I'm going to send it to her with that email, and I'm going to put that on here. I'm remembering things that's really bad. It's really, really bad. OSEP guidance has made clear that states need to determine case by case whether it is appropriate to extend the 60-day resolution time limit for a particular complaint due to exceptional circumstances. OSEP has stated that the following do not constitute exceptional circumstances that would warrant a 60-day time limit. An extension of the 60-day time limit. Staff shortages, not so much. Or heavy caseloads, that's what they were trying to say. School vacations and breaks. The use of mediation or alternative, that's another thing they do in Massachusetts. They're famous for that. If you have mediation, then they stop the clock from ticking. It's not how that works. Mediation or alternative dispute resolution without agreement by the parent or individual organization under state procedures, and the public agency to extend the 60-day time limit. See the memo. You can't do none of this. Oh my God, I got so much shit to give you guys. I got so much. I'm remembering all of this stuff I got out there. Okay, so the state's telling them over here again all the shit they have to do and when they have to do it by, which means they have to go and put stuff together to give to OSEP, and then they have to put it out there for everybody to see. Okay. The state is currently in the process of developing divisions. They're restructuring their friggin' department within its office to oversee implementation of final decisions. The division will have a devoted staff for monitoring and ensuring implementation of final state complaint decisions. I don't care. They're still going to do it wrong because they're stupid. And they don't give up. They don't care. They just, this people, yeah, at school. I know. Massachusetts constituents have reported that at times the state conducts a review of the final decisions made through PRS, which in practice becomes an informal appeal. They did it to me. Of the state complaint. The state may choose to establish procedures for reconsideration of a complaint decision that would result in a decision on the reconsideration within 60 days. They're still going to do all of this within 60 days. It's not a second complaint on which the complaint was originally filed. They're crazy. Alternatively, a state may establish procedures for the reconsideration when the reconsideration process would not be completed until later than the 60 days after the original filing, but only if the public agency's implementation of any corrective action required by the SCA's final decision is not delayed pending, this is going to be a problem, pending the reconsideration process. Therefore, if the reconsideration process is not completed later than 60 days after the filing of the complaint, the public agency must implement any required corrective action while the reconsideration is pending. You have to do everything. So the reconsideration doesn't come until after you get the findings from PRS. Okay? So when you get the findings, they're trying to say you can do the state can say, okay, we'll do a reconsideration. You can have a reconsideration, but don't think that just because you have a reconsideration filed that you get to hold off on the non-compliance issues that you found. You still have to, the school district, it's not an appeal. See, when you do an appeal, so let's say you go to court, okay? You go to court, and when you go to court and then you file an appeal, it puts a stop on whatever you went to court for. So if the judge says you have to pay, Donald Trump, so the judge says you have to pay $80 million to that lady. So the next step from there is for Trump to go and file an appeal. Until he's exhausted all of his judicial remedies, he doesn't have to pay that money. So he can go all the way up to the Chief Justices of the United States and drag it out. And that's usually what people do. They drag it out. Okay? But again, there's memo 1308. This is the same memo that I use all the time. This is, I used to cut and paste my my allegations. I used to cut and paste the allegation and stick them in there. So stupid. They don't even know where I got it from. It's dumb. They don't read anything. OSEP strongly recommends that if the state considers adopting, now Massachusetts hasn't done it yet, but if you can't say you did and then you don't do it. You can't, you got to shit or get off the pot, okay? You can't be a little bit pregnant, and that's what Massachusetts is doing with this reconsideration thing. So they're saying, no, you pick a lane and let us know which one you're doing so that we can make sure, because if you're going to do a reconsideration, then that means whatever the finding, because if it's a reconsideration, both parties can do a reconsideration. So let's say the state comes up and the state says, public school, you owe this kid 150 hours of compensatory services in OT. Okay? The school district can do a reconsideration. Okay? But until that reconsideration goes all the way through the process, they still have to implement those 150 hours of compensatory services. So both parties have the right to do a reconsideration. Remember this, if you can do it, they can do it. If they can do it, you can do it. Okay? When it comes to filing complaints and due process, whatever one side can do, the other side can do. Because if the person that's doing the review or the person that's in charge of the due process or the complaint says, no, only the school can do that, you say what? You put it in writing and you send it to OSEP. You guys send shit to OSEP until there's no OSEP to send it to. And then you still send it. Because now you got federal court. Go straight to federal court. And if you're poor, if you're below poverty, all of the federal court papers you can file for free. Bet you didn't know that, huh? It's called indigency. Just because you're poor doesn't mean you don't have access to the courts. Okay? So this one here was on child fine. I'm just skimming it. I just want you guys to see that OSEP did say over here, it says exactly what they have to do. They have to do it within 90 days of the date of this monitoring report. And then down here, they tell them exactly what they want from them. Okay? I have a question, and I do not want to interrupt your broadcast. I am reading the minutes from the IEPs, and in many, I noticed that the team chair says that when parents ask for something, the team votes. And if there is not a consensus, the LEA has the final voice. I asked for BCB. First of all, you first of all, you challenge that and you say that's not what the law says. Okay, I'm part of the team, and I said I wanted it. If you don't want it, you have to comply with prior written notice, and you have to put all of that crap about how nobody wanted to do it. You have to put it in writing, because at this meeting, you didn't look at nothing to determine anything. So I can show you, wait, don't do nothing yet, because that might be one of the things they got them for. Just hold on to that thought, okay? No, they can't do that. They don't have the final voice. They don't have the final voice. They're just the first rung, and that's what you tell them. You don't have the final voice. You're the voice that starts the fight, but I'm the voice that's going to finish the fight. That's what you say to them. Okay, no problem. No problem. We're going to get to you, too, because I want to do your stuff. Did they put it in writing, honey? Did they tell you no? Did they give you prior written notice? And don't ask them for it. Fuck it. Because if they didn't give it to you, that's an additional law. And then everything under prior written notice, they violated. That will be the first one we do. Okay? By Monday, I want you to send me a copy of, if you have a prior written notice for that thing right there, for the thing you asked for. Okay? I want a copy of the prior written notice that you sent. I want you, because that's what we're going to do online. I'm going to write your complaint on that. Okay? That's going to be your complaint. We're going to write it so everybody can see it. All right? Because that's an easy peasy one. And everybody, listen, you can't get real complicated with these morons. They have a very short attention span. It's like everybody over there, no offense to ADD people, but they're seriously, I'm serious. They have the attention span of a gnat. You guys start getting all in the weeds with stuff and dragging it out and making it sound worse and, boo-hooing. Keep it short, sweet, to the point. Cite the laws, cite the evidence, facts, laws, and evidence. That's what you have to do. Okay? All right? That's all you have to remember. They don't care how it hurt your feelings. They don't care what the moron said to you during the meetings. Because if they say anything about you being disrespectful, then you bring it up about them. Talking so fast. Then you bring it up about them, okay? Because they're idiots. So here's the other one. Child find and initial evaluation. Okay? So they're finding that everything that I complained about to the OSEP and to the state, that I was right. 100% right. Some of these laws, I can show you guys the emails that I sent to OSEP on these very issues. For years and years and years. Because I'm a bitch. Don't care. If I'm aggravated, I'm going to aggravate everybody. And then I found this new thing called AI. Yeah, GPT. I write the bestest ever emails. And it sounds bad when I write them using AI. I like it a lot. I'll show you when I write her thing. I'll show you guys how to use that too. So you don't have to be worried about what you think you're just saying, if you're saying it wrong, or they're going to come after you. The way it does with AI, GPT, they write it in such a way, you can tell it, write it very professional, but stern, emphasis on this. I tell it all kinds of stuff. Easy peasy. Okay? So, Timmy Floggers, I'll be arrested for sure, because I'm going after a few people. MGT, I'm going after that wench. Bober, whatever her name is. I'm going after Trump and that little ugly blockhead man over there who thinks he's the president. Yeah, I'm going after him. So anyway, I can't run for Congress. They'll find me in the bathroom beating somebody up all the time. It's not good. It's not good. So anyway, so now here's another one on child find. So on the left-hand side, they tell you all about child find and what that means. That's why this is really cool, guys, because this thing tells you the legal requirements of the state. Okay? Nancy Mays. Oh, yes. Is that the one that, my girl, she said, is that the woman that said she wanted to take my girl out in the hallway, want to take it out in the hallway? And she just looked at her like she's crack, because she called a child. Child, please. Stupid idiot. Anyway, so on the left-hand side, you got the legal laws. Okay, you don't have to look at it. Just use these things. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. South Carolina idiot. Okay, she's from your state. Poor thing. So anyway, so you guys could go and print all of these out. I don't care what state you're in, because look at what it does. Okay. On the left-hand side, it says legal requirements, and it says child find. Right underneath that, it says the law. Then it breaks down the law. Breaks it down. Easy peasy. Then it says, this is where you would put in your complaint. So, see right here? So let's say you were going after them for violations of child fine. Okay, so right there, okay? So let's say, so there it is right there, right? Okay. So you say, I almost took off the sweatshirt. There's nothing on under here. So then you say, pretend you're writing this, okay? So this is what I would do. I copy and paste this part right here, okay? From here, this right here, all right? I'd copy and paste that into my complaint. So you say, I am alleging that the state does not have a reasonable designed, the state does not have a reasonably designed general supervision system that ensures that all children, yeah, I read that whole thing, that ensures that all children who are in need of special education and related services are identified, located, yada, yada, yada. I'd copy and paste all of that in my complaint. I'd write violations at the top of the page. You'll see when I do this next week, right? Violations at the top of the page, right? And then I write child fine. And then I put this number right here. I'm pointing to the screen. I put this number, 34 CFR 300.111. That's child fine, okay? So you say they violated child fine. And then you put the state does not, you say the district. So don't say the state. You say the district does not have a reasonably designed system which ensures that all, it doesn't matter. You could, all you have to do is change state to district and cut and paste this whole thing in there. Okay? That's all you have to do. Then, down here, you, just like they did. So this one says the state does not have a reasonably designed, this is your allegation. This is what they did. So this is how you look at this. So here's the law. So under IDEA, when you're filing a complaint, it says you have to cite a law that they violated. You must either in a hearing and state complaints. So right here is what you do. It says, here's the law. So you allege a violation of child fine and initial evaluation. Okay, that's what you did. That's your allegation. So you just met the first requirement, other than putting the name, address, and all of that of the kid, and you, and all of that stuff in the district. Then you have to put in the allegation, the law they violated. You just have to, you don't have to know the law, but if you use this, it's right there. You just go and look at them, okay? So it says, and look, right here, look at that. It's right at the top. So that's all you have to do. Child fine and evaluation, or just do child fine, because this is broken up in two. So this part right here says child fine. Under 34 CFR 300.111, the state must have in effect policies that ensure all children with this is child fine. All of this is child fine. And then down here, it talks about the evaluation. Okay? So that's all you have to do. You file your complaint. You have to cite a law they broke. They violated child fine. That's all you have to say. You don't have to know the law, but if you do, cool. If you don't, it's still cool. Just say child fine. They violated child fine. Okay? And then you commence to saying the district does not have yada, 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 and that the school district did not initiate initial evaluations. Okay, I know now why they did that. When the school district has to do child fine, identify, locate, yada, 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 a kid with a disability. Once they find the kid, they locate the kid, then they have to obtain consent to do an evaluation on the kid. Okay? That's what starts the whole process. Okay, so what you say is that the district did not initiate the initial evaluation under 300.301. Specifically, the district is not reasonably designed to ensure that the public agency, so you can tweak this right here. You tweak this to make it sound like it's the district that you're talking about. That's all you got to do. You see what I'm saying? Give me some hands up. Give me some yeah to let me know. Okay. How come there's nobody from? That's weird. I hope it went over there. But anyway, so there's your complaint. Okay. Now, under here is where they go in the second part where it says during discussions with OSEP. This is where you describe how they didn't do this, how they didn't do child fine and didn't do and violated child fine and violated the initial evaluation. This is, you describe what they did do. You say this is the law. This is what they didn't do, and then this is how they didn't do it. This is what you're saying. Because of this, they violated this up here. Okay, we gotta move. What? Here. Okay, so this is your law. This is your explanation of how they violated the law, because they didn't have none of this in place. They didn't do none of this with your kid. Okay, and that's pretty much what you're saying. The school didn't do none of this. Okay, and this is how they didn't do it. So you break it down. This is pretty much a complaint. Okay, so then this part over here, you guys don't put in yours. All you need is this, this, and this in your complaint. And that's how you can use this to help you develop a complaint. Okay? So, let me see. The state also discussed its conditions of assistance. So, this part right here is OSEP talking with the state, saying the monitoring criteria include oversight of outreach by school district responsibility. So, this is what OSEP did. Prior written, okay, so implement the school district's curriculum accommodation plan, prior written notice, and evaluation and eligibility timelines. The state also discussed, this is what they're telling them they do. The state also discussed its conditions of assistance, IDEA Part B funding, certifications, which the LEAs must complete annually. They got in trouble for this big time because they weren't doing it. They almost lost money. They did lose money because they weren't meeting this criteria. This was years ago, 2009, I think, to be eligible to receive Part B sub-grant funds. These conditions of assistance include child find activities as well as evaluation and eligibility determination assurances, which are monitored using the criteria. Okay. So when we come over here on the state, so this is what they discussed. The state and the OSEP discussed about what they're supposed to do. So then OSEP says this to them. OSEP's analysis is based on the documents and information provided by the state and interviews with state staff and other interested parties. Based on this analysis, OSEP finds that the state does not have a reasonably designed general supervision system, which ensures that all children who are in need of special education-related services are identified, located, and evaluated under yada, yada, yada. Specifically, the state system is not reasonably designed to ensure that public agencies are initiating initial evaluations when a child, this is what, wait and see what you come up with. Initiate evaluations when a child is suspected of having a disability. The state also described its guidance. So we're going on from the guidance. So that's one side. So we came back, we bounced back. So the state also described its guidance documents addressing dyslexia. Here it is. This is what I want you to see. The MTSS, the multi-tiered literacy screening, all of this stupid shit. OSEP commends the state on the substantive form information included in these guidance documents. However, the state was unable to provide evidence of how these referral sources are being monitored because they're not. For example, the guidance documents, they love writing guidance in Massachusetts. Then those papers are not worth a hill of beans. The only thing they're good for is sending it to OSEP to ask them what the hell does this mean, because this is not being done. That's what they're good for. Flipping it and you using it against them. However, the state was unable to provide yada yada. For example, the guidance documents state that the use of tiered interventions, I've seen this so many times, I can see it right now, may not be used to delay or deny a full and individualized evaluation of a child suspected of having a disability. When asked how the implementation of MTSS is monitored, state staff stated that the use of MTSS is not monitored. Do you know how many times I accused him of that? Staff also stated that they are unaware of how many districts are implementing all of them. I know this for a fact. I was on the South Shore of Massachusetts constantly. Everybody's doing this. Do you know how many times I used the letter? That's going to come up here. The letter is in here about MTSS. Staff also stated they're unaware of how many districts are implementing. Similarly, there is no evidence of monitoring referrals for evaluation from the state's early literacy screening program or the interventions provided under DCAP. I don't even know what that is. So in other words, Massachusetts has a lot of shit that looks real good on paper, and that's all it is, a piece of paper. It's like this empty box with this pretty wrapping on and big red bow. That's what Massachusetts, those guidance things, they're full of it. I have zero idea why parents and advocates are not here. I don't know. I don't care. I'm doing what I need to do. It's up to them. It might be because it's Valentine's Day. You guys got to help me put the word out. You guys help me put the word out. If you belong to a page, you belong to anything, tell them. That's how, you know what's real funny? I got to tell you guys a real short story, and then I'm going to tell you the rest of this. I became really popular in Massachusetts. I did no advertising whatsoever. I did no marketing, nothing. I was all over the South Shore of Massachusetts. When I say all over, I am not kidding. I was on the South Shore from Brockton, Massachusetts, all of the surrounding towns, all the way over the bridge and into Cape Cod. The only place I didn't go, I think, were the islands, the Vineyard and Nantucket. That's the only place I didn't go. But I was in Cotuit, I was in Attleboro, I was in Rehoboth, I was in Mansfield, Marshfield, I was everywhere on the South Shore. And I got there because it was word of mouth. A school district special ed director asked me one time, why was I targeting his school district? I said, have you lost your mind? What are you talking about? I don't even advertise. What are you talking about? He said, what? What do you mean you don't advertise? I said, I don't advertise. There's nothing. Why would I advertise? Word of mouth is the best advertisement anybody could ever have. I said, none of my parents in your school district, they don't even know each other. They're meeting each other in the grocery line. Barbara did that. I had to tell Barbara to stop. Barbara did that. She was telling everybody about me like a crazy person. Yes, Barbara. But I got a lot of clients because one parent would tell, everybody that has kids with disabilities, it's like a clique. But none of the parents in this one particular town, until I started talking to them, and then they would start talking to each other and stuff, or they'd see me at the school, something would happen like that. Where is Barbara? I should probably working. Barbara was worried about me because I had a rough week, girls. I had a rough week. To kill a bitch. But anyway. So she's been trying to call me, but I think she worked tonight. I'm not sure, because usually if Barbara has a chance, she's here. So, but yeah, so they don't want you. What you have to do, what you guys have to do, is spread the word. And I'm telling you, if you guys are pleased with me, and I'm telling you, nobody else is doing this the way I do it. And you guys all know that. You don't have this information from any other advocate. They're not telling you this. The lawyers certainly aren't going to tell you this. They don't want you to know this either. I don't care what anybody says. Because you're cutting into their cake. Sorry, guys, but hey. And I'm telling you, I got a lot of people pissed off at me up at the BSCA, up at sometimes the schools, the attorneys. They all hated me because they thought just because they were an attorney, that meant something to me. You know what it means? It means that I have reason to disbelieve every single word coming out of your mouth. Because I'm sorry, but there was only a couple of attorneys that I worked with personally. Even a couple of them were from the public school system. But there was only 2 in 30 years. So, good. Thank you. But all you have to do, wherever you're at, you're talking to people, Throw it out there. If you're in a group, you're on YouTube, whatever you're at, just throw my name out there. Tell them where the channel is. Tell them what we're doing. Okay? Because this is something that right now, those morons are trying to take away special education money. They found it. Betsy DeVos didn't even know what it was. Never mind what was in the till. Donald Trump and that rotten, big-headed, blockheads, Elon Musk, they found it. And now they want to take all of the money out. So the states aren't going to get any money. Here's what I say, good. You know why? You know why? Now let them feel our pain. Because our kids weren't getting it anyway. You know how many times I told OSEP that? I don't care if they take the money. Because you know what? We'll just fight the damn school districts. And we'll just skip our happy asses right to court in front of a judge. Now what? Because I'm going to show parents how to do that too. Because parents can go in court. And you know how bad it is? Because a judge will give you some leeway. I'll show you guys how to do injunctions on schools and all kinds of shit. Because you can do it. You have access to the court system too. You just got to know how to fill out the papers. That's all you got to do. You got to know how to fill out the papers. When you learn how to fill out the papers, you're good. Because I'm telling you, you guys really can't trust anybody nowadays. The only people you could trust is me, myself, and I. That's all you got for your kid. Keep your kid home. Don't even worry about this stupid shit. Your kid would get a better education with you. And now we're going to have a big problem because at the rate we're going, nobody's going to have a job. Nobody's going to have a job. Nobody's going to have nothing. I don't know how anybody's making money. I don't know how Elon Musk thinks he's going to be selling Teslas. Who's buying? I mean, there's only so many friggin' wealthy people. They're going to be riding around with all your Teslas. And none of the countries, other countries are buying these cars because they're falling apart. They're real expensive and they're falling apart. And he knows they're dangerous. And that's why he wants to go jump into shit to stop fraud. The consumer thing board or whatever it's called. Yeah. Trying to stop that too. So we need to figure it out, people, because it's bad. I didn't think it was going to get bad, but we're going to just keep moving forward as if nothing's going on. Because I just watched something and I got so mad. I said I can't watch this stuff before I go on here because I'm in a bad mood now. But anyway, I digress. So just like I suspected, the state, the school district, they cannot use anything that's remotely related to RTR and use that as a mechanism to stop the kid from getting evaluated. And that's why when the school district says to you, we're going to put your kid on RTR or MTSS, you say, really, why? Because they don't even put that in writing, you know. They don't put it in writing or nothing. So you say, well, sometimes they do it without you knowing it. I've had school parents that didn't even know their kid was on it. And I was the advocate and I was livid because I told him he's all done with this because you can't do both. If the kids, that's another thing. What they'll do is they'll put the kid on an IEP and give him the stupid nonsense. There's nothing in there that's valid or reliable. There's nothing. There's nothing. And to prove it, they're not even monitoring it. Nobody's doing anything about it. They're not collecting data. They're not saving the information. The school district uses it when you want to have services. And then they use MTSS, which is now when they say, well, when they come to the team meeting and they talk about MTSS in Massachusetts especially, because this is what this report is, when they come to the table and they talk about, well, he's doing good in this. When we do the MTSS, you say the MTSS isn't even being monitored. You can take that scores and put it where the sun don't shine. That's what you tell them. Because you made it up. You might as well just go write something on some toilet paper. Well, we have guidance, and that's another thing you tell them during the meeting. That's what I'm telling you. Use this stuff. I am telling you. My girl Kelly is already using it. She's already telling me. So you didn't read it, did you? You better go read it. Yeah. But when they say about guidance letters from the Department of Education, what you have to do is you have to see if there's any meat on it, if there has any teeth, because now I know that none of the guidance letters that are out there in Massachusetts, they don't have any teeth. And I told them that. I told OSEP that when it came to the paraprofessional criteria. So now I'm going to tell them, so you're just not going to do the certification regarding paraprofessionals? Because these people don't have any credentials. Nothing. And I told them that's, and I don't understand why they didn't do that. But I'm going to find out. So it says here, based on this information, OSEP concludes that the state does not have a mechanism in place to ensure that LEAs refer children who are suspected of having a disability for an initial evaluation. Even when the parents come in and say it, they're not doing it. They convince the parents to do MTSS instead. Don't do that. Don't do that to your kid. Just get your kid evaluated. Make the school district do it first. Consent to the evaluations. That's what we're talking about now. These are the 5 most popular evaluations we're going to talk about. Okay? I have samples, so you guys, I'll send you the links to those 2. So you guys can look them over. So when you ask for your kid to be evaluated, you'll know what that means. Okay? Independent evaluations. What did I do? Okay, the state IEE provisions are inconsistent with ID requirements. Oh, really? When a parent requests publicly funded IEE, state law requires LEAs abide by provisions for, they do this to me all the time, for sliding scale fee. Okay? So, if your kid is getting free lunch, there it is right there. If the student is eligible for free or reduced cost lunch or is in the custody of a state agency like DCF or DYS, with an educational surrogate parent appointed in accordance with federal law, then the school district shall provide at full expense an independent evaluation that is equivalent to the types of assessments done by the school district. No additional documentation of family financial status is required from the parent. In this instance right here. Okay, in this part. Okay, now, when you ask for an independent evaluation, the district has 2 choices. They either approve it or deny it. If they deny it, they have to, within 20 days, they have to file for a due process hearing. And what they're filing for is to say that their evaluations were comprehensive. But see, and if I'm going to show you how to rip that apart. And that's why I want you guys to learn how to do this. Because they will file for hearing. Okay? Now, what you could do is to get around that is, don't say nothing. Go take your kid to outside private evaluators, use your kid's insurance, and go get them done. And then bring them to the school, and you will have 2 of them now. You never go to a hearing without your own shit. Okay? The school district, you're going to a hearing with just the school district stuff. You're a parent. You're not a psychologist. Okay? So the hearing officer's not going to listen to you. So don't do it. What you need to do is you go get your evaluations done. You can file a complaint. See, but if you file a complaint and you ask for an IEE, they're going to file for it, especially in Massachusetts. And that's that MHTL law firm. They do it all the time. They can't wait for a parent to ask for an independent evaluation. And the reason what I do is I tell my parents, don't even ask them. Just go get them done yourself. You're still going to have to wait. It's still going to take a long time. You don't have to do not tell the school district you're getting your kid evaluated by privately. Do not tell them. It's none of their business. And then when you get the evaluations done, and your independent evaluations that you paid for through your insurance privately, when it comes out that your kid has all of these issues that none of their evaluations had, that they picked up on, now they're screwed. Now they're screwed. Okay? So what you tell them is, because you'll have an IEP by then. So you already did the independent, so now that takes that whole go to hearing thing right off the table. So now you can file a complaint that the IEP is not reasonably calculated, and you use all of your evaluations to prove it. And I can show you how to take your evaluation and clean their clock. Okay? Again, it's real easy. So now here's the other part. If, however, the family financial status is not known, the district shall offer the parent information about sliding scales and the opportunity to provide family income information to determine if the family may be eligible for publicly funded of all or part of the cost of the IE. Parents may choose on a voluntary basis to share the cost of the IEE with the school district committee, yada, yada, yada. Wait a minute, because I read this earlier and they were doing something on this. Parents may choose on a voluntary basis. sliding scale in which the coverage ranges from 100% of the cost of the IE if the family income is equal to or less than 400%. Okay, that's the sliding scale. Okay, so they pay how much you pay of the independent evaluations is based on where you sit on the sliding scale. Okay. When a parent requests an IE under IDEA, the LEA has two options. I just said this. The LEA must file a due process complaint to request a hearing to show that the LEA's evaluations are appropriate, or the LEA must ensure that an IE provided at public expense unless the agency demonstrates in a hearing that the evaluation obtained by the parent did not meet criteria. The IDEA IE do not include a scenario, listen carefully, this is the part, where the parent and district share the cost of a publicly funded IEE. I don't understand. In fact, the IDEA, okay. In fact, the IE provision and explain that parents have a right to an IE at public expense, which means at no cost to the parent. While state regulations provide circumstances where cost sharing would not apply, there are instances where families would be responsible for a portion of the cost of a publicly funded IE without the LEA filing a due process to either show that it's, so they have to take that off the table, or demonstrating that the hearing that the evaluation obtained by the parent did not meet. Therefore, the state's IEE sliding scale provision are inconsistent. Additionally, the state's procedural safeguard notice includes language describing the state's current sliding scale for some parents to pay for a portion of the IE. The language in the procedural safeguards also conflicts. See? Parents requesting an IEE in an area not assessed by the district. The student does not meet income eligibilities, or the family chooses not to provide the financial to the district. The school district shall respond to I don't understand. I got to read that one again. It's not getting in the brain right. And this is the, okay, so they're not doing that either. Where is it? What I say? OSEP's analysis based on documents that staff and other people, yada, yada, yada. The state's laws, here's another one they have to fix. Now, there's two laws they got to change. Procedural safeguards are inconsistent with 502 because the state's provision can result in the parent sharing the cost of a publicly funded IEE. It can't be publicly funded and the parents are paying for it at the same time. That's what they're trying to say. That's cost shared, but it's not. Yeah, that's what they're trying to say. I get it. I think I got to read that one again. Okay. And this one's about monitoring that. A lot of you guys don't know about the monitoring and the private programs. I don't think I even have any kids on this channel that are in private placements. But like I said earlier, for the most part, the private school, there's a lot of private special needs schools in Massachusetts. And every single one of them, whether it's a day program or a residential, the day programs, I think, are like 160 a year. And the residentials are between 2 and I think it's between 2 and 250, and it might be higher a year. 1,000. Okay, that's how much money they cost. So if a school district is paying that much money for a school, you would think they would have a vested interest in how good this kid is doing. I mean, they're paying thousands of dollars for one kid. Now, if it's a day program, not only do they have to pay the tuition, but they also have to pay for transportation for the kid to go to and from school. Yeah. I actually got one. Some of my parents, they brought their kid to and from the private schools, and they got paid for transportation, and I think it was like 50 cents a mile, but the kids were way out, like 26 miles away from home, and it's round trip. By the time the woman got done, by the end of the month, she had to do a spreadsheet, and by the time she was done, she was getting like $1,500 a month, taking her kid to school. It was still cheaper for her to do it than for the school district to do it. Still cheaper for the school district. So, The state is unable to demonstrate that it is completely implementing its monitoring procedures. There are laws. When they put a kid in a private school and they're paying for it, there are procedures that they have to monitor what's going on with that kid at that school. Like I said earlier, my client went in and he didn't learn shit in 4 years. He left there when he was 22. And he can't change his clothes. He's basically nonverbal, but he can't change his clothes. He can't wash himself. But he has the ability to do this stuff. Like, his limbs work. Like, you could teach him to do it. I know I could have. I mean, I'm not friggin', you just got to teach him. They didn't even bother. The only thing they were worried about were his behaviors. And even that was something, because, I mean, we had to send the police over there to do a wellness check because they wouldn't give us the incident reports. Oh, okay, no problem. The mother called me up. I said, okay, good. Call the police over there. Go meet him at the school and tell the police that all about your kid. Show them the guardianship papers and tell them that they're refusing to tell you what's going on with the kid. You want to see him. She walks in there with the police. The kid is sitting in the middle of the floor. Everybody is up against the wall. He's in the middle of the floor and they gave him an Oreo. So he's all calm when they came in. But the guy that was supposed to be watching him, he was all messed up. My client beat his ass. Good. That's what you get. You did something to him. So anyway, so that's what this is all about. So I can't believe this report came out like this. This is so bad for Massachusetts. I mean, these are all the laws. I mean, I'm just going to have a field day with this. This is like the best present I could have ever got. I just love it. I can't believe OSEP came through like this for me. And all of the parents out there and all of the people that I told, call OSEP, contact OSEP. This is why I tell you people to do this. This is why. Okay? You have to let the people, okay, you guys have to listen to something. The people who hold the purse strings in any relationship, those are the people who are in control. That's why Donald Trump's doing all this crazy shit. He's in control. Okay? He has all of this information and he has access to all of this, that even though he's not supposed to, but he does, because everybody's just stepping aside, letting him do whatever he wants. When did you find it? When did I find what? This report? Just the other day. I don't know how she found it. I got to find out. Let me go find yours. Okay, so now, wait, I'm going to stop. Let me do share. Okay. This came out, this is old, honey, but you'll still need it. This came out in April 2024, last year. It's only a few months old. Okay, so let me do this. Okay. Here's yours. I need to get rid of that. Okay. So, all right. Oh my God. Monitoring and improvement and dispute resolution. I'll send you the link here. This is so much fun. Okay, let's see what they did. Dispute resolution and significant disproportionality. That's because you're closer to the South. That's what that is. But anyway, because there's more, there's always a problem with disproportionality. Okay, so let's go and look. Dispute resolution. Okay. So this is what South Carolina's letter said. This came out. Okay, here's where it was sent to. Okay, can you see it? State Superintendent, South Carolina Department of Education. Okay, is that the same person? Is that person still there? Okay, so the purpose of the monitoring is to provide a summary of the differentiated, yada, yada, yada. OSEP examined the state policies, same thing as mine. Monitoring and improvement, data including the state's performance, because they don't do this right ever, right here. Fiscal management, sub-recipient monitoring, dispute resolution, and signal. Okay, so let's go in there. Reasonably designed to identify non-compliance of all idea. Okay, so the state isn't even identifying their own shit of being in non-compliance. OSEP finds that the state is not verifying that each LEA identified, this is you, Alma, that each LEA identified with non-compliance is correctly implementing the regulatory requirements achieved 100%, based on a review of updated information as such as data information subsequently collected through integrated monitoring activities or the states. They're not doing it. See, there's the thing I want you guys to go get. That thing right there is like, it's the bomb. It tells you what the state is supposed to be doing on itself. That's where you file non-compliance on the state. So you file a, so what this right here says, Alma, what this says is that the Department of Education is supposed to be overseeing and monitoring the numbnuts, the districts, school districts, and they're not doing it. Okay? OSEP finds that the state is not considering performance on compliance indicators and valid and reliable data when making an annual determination on the performance of each LEA under Part B. And there's that 603, 300.603. See, the cool thing, like, I love it when OSEP puts in laws, because Tammy's right on the internet looking up all these laws to figure out what they did and what the law says. Okay? Here it is dispute resolution. OSEP finds that the state's mediation procedures are not consistent with requirements under 506, that the SEA must select mediators on a random, rotational, or other impartial basis. That means the bitch, she ain't doing it right. They doing it right. OSEP finds that the state's frequently asked question document does not describe mediation consistent. It's the same thing, but it's a different document. It doesn't, yours doesn't describe mediation consistent with the thing. Public agencies must ensure procedures are established and implemented to allow parties to dispute involving any matters under the idea to resolve disputes through mediation. And the state's dispute information. I hate mediation. And this tells me, don't you ever say you're going to do mediation. You can't. They're not doing it randomly. Okay? There's not a rotation, which means they're not or other impartial basis. Everything they're doing is to ensure that you lose. Okay? That's what it's saying. States must bear the cost of the mediation process. OSEP finds that the state's policies and procedures regarding reasonable progress, flexibility, and identifying LEAs with significant disparity are not consistent, which allows states to adopt flexibility for an LEA that has exceeded the risk ratio threshold and has failed to demonstrate reasonable progress. That means the kids in those schools aren't doing shit. Ooh, legal requirements of the state. The SPP and the APR, those are reports that the school districts have to give, and I'll show you where it is. Everybody can get this. It's in every single state, and every single school district has to do it. These are the reports that have to go over to the state, and then the state is supposed to be monitoring certain things. And this tells you what they're supposed to be monitoring. And there's information in here, you guys, that you don't. Okay, here's an OSEP thing right here. Okay, and it tells you question A4. Solely relying on an LEA's performance on the SPP indicator does not constitute a reasonably designed general supervision system. What they're saying is the school district is saying, we're doing wonderful. There's nothing to see here. Keep it moving. And the state says, okay. And they keep it moving. And then they get a grant. And then stuff's the shit is hitting the fan. That's what's going on. Okay. and this has been going on since the state was unable to provide evidence that it otherwise documented the results of its monitoring to SOTA pilot in FY 2019 and the full implementation. So this must be a program or process or something they used, and they didn't even do it. All the states are getting in trouble with this, and they could start losing money big time. In order to effectively monitor implementation, this is why we have to know how they're supposed to be monitored and what they're supposed to be doing. I told you guys before, I want to know everybody's job sitting at the table. I want to know all your jobs. I want to know all your roles. So when I'm coming after all of you. And I'm hitting you right where it hurts. So this is what they told them. OSEP's longstanding position is that for a state to ensure proper notice to LEAs and promote timely correction of noncompliance should include all of this stuff. They're not doing it. The state is not ensuring that systematic noncompliance has been corrected. So that means the shit that you're going through, now OSEP knows. So if they don't fix the problem, they will take the money. I am wishing, yes. And right now, this has been going on for a while. And so now I can help you create questions to ask OSEP in emails. Yeah, 300, 600 is a bit. Puppy regulations require that in exercising its monitoring responsibility, 300, 600, the state must ensure that when it identifies noncompliance with the noncompliant is corrected as soon as possible, and in no case no later than a year. It's reiterated in this right here. You can look these up. I'm going to show you where to get them. Or you can ask OSEP to send them to you. They'll send them to you via email, these documents. I'm telling you, this is like letter to anonymous. These are OSEP letters. OSEP clarified 2019. This is their letter, I think. That generally any outstanding corrective or action ordered through a state complaint or due process hearing to remedy the denial of appropriate services must be completed notwithstanding the child's relocation to another state. Somebody else asked me that. If the ordered relief can be reasonably be implemented in a new state and the parent does not reject the remaining services under that ordered relief. So just because you move to another state doesn't mean you don't get the services. That's the state that screwed up. They have to pay for it in the other state. That's what they do when the kid moves in. Conclusion. See, the state is not verifying that each LEA identified with noncompliance correctly implementing. This is gold for you people. This is gold. You have to learn how to take this stuff and make it work. I'm telling you, I was so excited. The state, these are the legal requirements. And I can tell you how to take this information and put it in a complaint. And it will have them running crazy. They won't know what to do. And then you CC it. When you file your complaint, you send a copy, you do it via email, and you send a copy to the feds. Hopefully there'll still be feds. We think. This one's written up differently than mine, but I think it's because it was, oh no, that was only last year. Okay, so now I gotta go, this is yours. So I'll keep that up, and then what I will do is I will send that to you via email, okay? But I can put the link up though. Let me see. I think I should put the link. Should I put the link in the Facebook page and in YouTube? Is that what you want me to do? And I could turn it into a PDF file so that you can just click on it and it comes right up for you. Stop, send them evidence because... No, you tell them no. Now you send them this report and you say, and I'm going to continue. Make me. Tell them to make you. And then CC that to OSEP too. Yeah, they want you to stop because it makes them look bad, and that's what you tell them. I'm telling you, the emails that I sent to the state regarding complaints and how they're not doing their job. Okay. And they wanted me, I was sending, I'm in a hearing, and I CC'd a motion that I wrote to OSA. The hearing officer said for me to stop doing that. I said nothing. The next motion I wrote, I did it again. I don't care what they say. They do whatever they want, and they want us to live by the rules. That's what I said. I don't live by nobody's rules. I'm tired of playing games with people. So you do you, I do me. I'm all happy with that. I'm real happy with you doing whatever you want to do. I'm going to definitely do me. And there's no law that says. So what they have in all of these states, what they have is a bunch of gibberish on a piece of paper saying that they're doing all this stuff, and it's not worth the paper it's written on. And so they're going to tell you what you can't do. You tell them, come make me. It's too late. Gone. They already have it. I want you to know what I'm doing, which is different from what you're doing. You're not telling me what you're doing. See this piece of paper right here? What I did one time, do you know how many times I sent them the reports? In Massachusetts, they got in trouble because their hearing officers were employees of the Department of Education. For years, 30 years. Do you know when you look up due process and you look up the hearing officer's duty, do you know what the first law says? They cannot be employees of the Department of Education. Think about it. How can you be impartial if you're hearing cases on the very agency that's paying you? I mean, wouldn't be me, because I would tell my boss to bite me, but I'm thinking that they're going to cover their ass. And so they're going to make sure that every single case that comes before them, they're going to win. The school, the state, everybody's going to win, because if the school district loses, then that looks bad on the state. Okay, that looks bad on the state, because you can go look up, well, in New York you can't, because New York hides everything. I mean, the only thing you can see on a hearing, on a decision, is but, how, I, see. You don't have no information about the case whatsoever. You don't have the school district. You don't have the name of the hearing officer. You don't have nothing. The only time you get anything is when you appeal it to the second tier. Oh, good. Thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad you like them, Mama. I love doing them. Like I said, I love doing them, and I just wish, like you said earlier, I wish there were more parents. And I don't know why. I don't think they even know that something like this would be possible. That there's somebody out there. And there's so many Facebook pages that are about special education and kids with disabilities. So, I mean, I'm just one of a few, but I don't even know, maybe I'm going to have to do some research on how they're calling their sites, or what I've been on their sites, and it's just, when you hear the stuff that they're being told, it's ridiculous from others. So you got the blind leading the blind. And then I jump in and I go, no, you can't do that. This is the law. And so now I'm representing the parent. That's what ends up happening. There's like this big, long thing, and everybody's jumping in, asking questions. So that's why I don't even do it. I don't do it. I can't, because I get locked in, because I can't shut up to save my life. So, they're feeling defeated. I know, but I try to tell them, and but if I link my page to theirs, they get angry. And I guess I would too, but if somebody was coming to my channel, like to this, I wouldn't get angry about that. I think they think I'm pulling them from their thing, because they're very territorial. Everybody is. But if I could get good information from going to 2 or 3 sites, then I'm going to do that. If you only get stuck on one site, and that's where you're going to go for all your information, then you gotta know that sometimes that person could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm not a genius. I mean, I'm doing what you guys are doing. You have no idea how much. I'm glad. I didn't know. You've been watching all my videos. I feel like the YouTubers I watch a couple bunch of crazy stuff, but um, I like binge watch them, and because I love them. If it's not crocheting, then it's macrame. If it's not that, then it's doing beading and all kinds of crazy stuff. So, but I'll binge watch, and it depends. Like there's this guy I'm watching right now. It's Midlife Stockman, and this guy is so inspirational. What he does is he drives around in his car on the weekends. He has a full-time job. He has a beautiful house, makes money, makes good money. And what he does is he'll see like an abandoned house or a house that has all overgrown outside. And yes, well, what? Taking notes. This guy goes and cleans their yard. I mean, he cleans it. It's like there was never a bush there in its life. I mean, and he does it all for free. So he doesn't even know who owns the house or nothing. He'll go knock on the door and he'll ask them, I was wondering if you would let me, clean up your yard. And they're looking at him like, what? I'll clean up the whole yard, the back, the front, the sides. I'll edge it. I'll do everything. And they're like, how much is it going to cost? He said, no, it's free. He says it's free. And he is adorable. He's like 6'3", 6'4". He's skinny. He's got the prettiest eyes. He's married. He's got 3 daughters, a little boy. But he is, I told him, I had to say him. I said, you make volunteering and doing work like you do. And he videos is the whole time he's cleaning up your yard. He's videoing the whole thing. And he speeds it up so it's a little bit faster. But I binge watch him all the time. But he's so adorable. And he doesn't talk a lot during the video, which sometimes I use it to go to sleep at night too. But I don't know why people do what they do. And so I'm reliant on you guys to get the word out for my shows and to help me help you. Because I'm just not going to advocate. But I'm telling you, I'll go right up to that line with you. I will go right up to that line. But then you're doing it on your own. I'm not doing it. I can't. It drives me completely crazy. I'm glad I'm not in your position. I'm just glad. But you have a crush. Oh God, yes. I told him. I said, you make volunteering and doing the dirty work that you do sexy. Yeah, that's what I told him. I put it in. That's the kind of stuff I write when I do it. You guys don't write nothing. I'm lying. You guys do write stuff. There was a girl that was talking to me and now she's gone. She didn't even show up. But I know it's Valentine's Day, so anyway. Oh, did you guys like that little video I put together the other day and put it out there for you guys to take an email into a PDF file? I know, right? Oh God, he was so cute though. He's like 6,000 feet tall, like tall man. He's just nice. He's just nice. And you just don't see it. I mean, it makes me cry when I watch it. But anyway, did you like the video that I already did? Because I'm getting ready to go off, guys. Did you like it? I hope you like this. I'm going to put all of this information out for you guys because I was just excited. And then we'll go back to the WISC-V so I could show you guys how to use all the information. You did like it? Okay, cool. I was wasting my time. I have all of the equipment to do this stuff. I just haven't been doing it. And I pay for it. So now I'm going to start making little videos so I could show you guys how to do little things real quick. And then you can just sit there and do it over and over again. Did it make sense? Alma, you're the only one that talks to me, apparently. Look, this all says Alma. It's like I only have one. I just have one person looking at me. Last week, though, I had 89 people viewing this, which is awesome. It's just, Elise was here. It's just awesome. I know it's Valentine's Day. Elise, go talk to your husband. All right. But I'm going to be putting more stuff out on my Facebook page of stuff that I made. I made cell phone bags. I made T-shirts. I made tote bags. I made something else. I can't remember. But anyway, I'll put that out there this weekend. And you can buy me a cup of coffee. I have that out there on my Facebook page. And I think I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel. But if you could buy me a cup of coffee, I like snacks. I have no snacks. I like a lot of snacks. So I could use the money to buy me snacks. And I could use the money for other things too, to pay these bills, because StreamYard is $25 a month. I'm gonna need some money. But anyway, so there's lots of ways that you guys can support the channel. I'm gonna have the merchandise out there. I have Buy Me a Cup of Coffee. I have the Stars program. I have the Facebook PayPal thing out there. I don't know if it even came up this time when you guys came on. I don't know why it didn't, but it's stupid. So anyway, spread the word, please. Just spread the word. The bigger it is, the better it is. The more information I get for you guys. And then in 2 weeks, Alma, not this week, the following, because I want to finish the WISC. Not this week, but the following week, we're going to write that complaint. Now I forgot what the complaint was. What was the complaint? I can't remember what it was. Shit. Do you remember what that complaint was, Alma? Is that it right there? Yes. There it is. I gotta write it down. So we're going to do the complaint on... Oh, prior written notice. So PWN. You're gonna find out for me if they put that in there, the whole team votes and all of that stuff. Did you get any? I need you to send me whatever paperwork you had between now and next week. I need you to tell me what you had from them that says that nonsense in there. I'm telling you, they didn't meet the criteria for a prior written notice. Oh my. And we'll do the complaint online. All right, I'll write up the whole thing. But I just need that one piece of paper. I need the tape. I need something, or just the fact that you have a tape, and we can. I'll listen to it if I have to, but I can just allege it too. So for right now, I just need any documentation you have that you asked for that, and they said no. If you have a piece of paper, I just need paper. If it's something else, you have to send me a message and tell me. Okay. I need that, what she said. If she put that in writing, I need it. If she said it if the only way you have it is on the tape, we got them. Okay? Alma. Gonzalez. Do you say Gonzalez or Gonzales? I'm Cape Verdean and we say Gonzales. So do you say Gonzalez or Gonzales? One or two. Gonzales is the way I say it. Gonzalez. Is that what you say, Gonzalez? BCBA services. Okay, so what I'm saying right now is you asked for a BCBA, they denied you, and there's nothing in writing, but it's on tape. So for right now, that's what I'm going to do. Okay? So that's the one I wanted. Make me sick. Make us all sick, honey. I'm getting to the point where I'm desensitized now. So anyway, so thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to my channel, both the Facebook page and the YouTube channel. You can get to the YouTube channel. If you didn't do it on this one, you can get to the YouTube channel by it's Tammy the Advocate on YouTube. It'll take you right to my page. And yeah, support my channel, because you guys need this real bad. You're gonna need it even more, because even though there's shenanigans going on in DC, the states are still responsible for your kid. Okay? No matter what they say, the states, I have the PWN, I sent it to you. Oh, you did? On Monday. Okay, I gotta check it. You sent it to what? Sped Ed Live Train? Okay. All right, cool. I'll go look at the PRN because I know it's wrong. That's why I know it's okay. All right. So it's not going to be this week. It's going to be next week. Okay. And I'm just going to ask you a bunch of questions. You're going to be my guest. You can be live with your picture like this, or you can just do audio. It's up to you. However way you want to do it, I don't care. It's up to you. I want you to be as comfortable as possible. Okay? And this will be cool. All right, darling. I will see you guys on Thursday next week. This is wonderful. I must have fixed my computer. Nothing happened. So I'll see you guys next week, and I will put all of this information on my Facebook channel as a what do you call it? A PDF link, and I will put the actual link from the website, so you guys can go and look at it both on my Facebook page and my YouTube channel. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. Bye, guys. Have a wonderful evening. I know it's not, you're all done.